Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Capricorn May 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James Clairvoyant. Well, we have an interesting deck this month, the famous Thoth deck. Now, the Thoth deck is going to provide you with a fantastic reading. Now, a lot of people are frightened of the imagery on it. They don't know how to interpret it. Well, they're frightened because of the notoriety of the person said to be behind the deck, with a guy called Aleister Crowley. He was introduced to the artist Lady Freda Harris, whose husband was a successful British politician, so she had plenty of time on her hands and plenty of money. She was also gifted, a genius when it came to art. And she and Crowley began on a collaboration which was due to last 6 months, but which spanned 5 years. That's how long it took her to go and do all of the artistic works. I think Lady Freda Harris, she actually probably got most of her inspiration from an Austrian guy called Rudolf Steiner, because you can see a lot of the sort of mystical sort of stuff in these cards which correspond with his works that were earlier. You do know that I provide clairvoyant readings for people all over the world by way of FaceTime and Skype, and details of that are in the description. I charge for those, but what I don't charge for are healings. I get the spiritual gift of healing at birth as well, but healing is done on the basis that I get nothing in return for it. So it's for free, no obligation, and you won't be talked into or sold anything. So if you think you need something sorted, please don't be shy or afraid. Just drop me an email on the details in the description. But now let's look at the beautiful genius work contained in this deck, being the art, and show me the magic. 2 of discs, 4 of swords, Queen of cups, 2 of wands, which is art, Major Arcana 14. I'll bring the camera around. Why don't you and I have a good close look at the artwork on these cards together while I give you my take on it, while I do the reading for you. Yes, well, for me, the real hero of this deck is the artist, Lady Freda Harris, the woman. And in honor of her, and of women in general, I have put around the edges of this a couple of decks which I sometimes use for female clients, which have things on them which are of interest to some women, being handbags and shoes. This is a time for you when there's a lot of good luck around you. There's a lot of Jupiter here, and there's some peace and forward motion steadily. But let's see what's unfolding. I want to go here first and look at this picture. And the first thing that I will say is that this energy here astrologically is Jupiter in the 3rd decan of Libra. That's the 14th to the 22nd of October. And Libra, of course, tries to find balance in your life. So there is a need for balance, and I think that this is a time when you do get some rest and peace from things. Now, this number 4 that's here, numerologically, that represents stability. Stability from what might have been hardship or turmoil racing around you from the past. There is a respite, there is a point of peace here, but I think that there is probably still much to do. All these yellow lines that you can see out there, for me anyway, representing air. This is, of course, the suit of swords, the 4 of swords. Well, it could be that chaotic thoughts may be represented. There could well be some conflicts taking place in your life, and you now have peace from them, because the 4 of swords, it says that you are now being protected from the chaos at present. Now there's a green cross here. That's known as a St. Andrew's cross. St. Andrew, of course, if you understand Christian traditions, said that he wasn't worthy to be crucified in the same way or on the same cross as Jesus, and so the myth, the tradition has it that he had one like this. And so there is a lot of self-esteem coming through for you, and a lot of self-confidence at the moment as well. Now, the number of roses that are inside here, the petals, I happen to know that there are 49. 7 times 7. 7 sevens are 49. Well, 7 is the mystical number, and the ruler of it is, mystically, Venus, as I see it. And there's a great association with Venus and victory with the number 7. And Venus, of course, is also the planet and the governor of Libra, which is in this card. And if you look at the points of the swords where they meet in the middle there, they all meet in the rose. And so you need to recharge your spirit. And I think that's represented by the rose itself, because there's a recuperation going on now, an agreement, a calm, centered, almost like a spiritual cleansing that's going on. Also, I'll say this about the tips of those 4 swords. They are all of equal strength and they meet at the center. So worries have been conquered. And there is a clarity that has been regained. And this blue color that you see in the background, that also speaks of clarity. The yellow-green of spiritual creativity is dominating this picture. This is really a good atmosphere for the rose of recognition within you to unfold and to expand, because Jupiter carries with it the qualities of joy and expansion which will be with you now. Now, whatever situation might have seemed hopeless until now, you realize that it actually contains within itself all the elements for a great, prosperous solution. I think that green cross in the background also indicates a complete inner unification, the integration of all the 4 aspects of your mind, your emotions, your body, and your soul. But I do have a sense here with the energy that, well, this is called truce, and truce doesn't necessarily mean peace. There may be a surface calm which is only maintained by suppressing feelings and impulses, so just be aware of that. Use this clarity that you've got now to check whether there are any underneath influences present that are just being hidden for the moment, because by recognizing these, you will rob them of their disruptive power. There's no doubt, though, that now you have enough inner clarity, I think, to successfully carry out your plans. Go ahead, be ambitious, be sure at all times that you feel good about what is happening. And ask yourself, what supports or what hinders your clarity? And check your surroundings, of course, and rearrange them to support calm and centeredness. And say this to yourself: I am at peace within myself. And this peace within yourself, I think, comes about by you actually having a good, long, hard look within yourself as to how you can unify your shadow aspects with the ones that you ordinarily put out there to everybody else. Now, this is called by the developer art. I call it the daughter of the reconcilers, the bringer forth of life. There is a unification of opposites going on. There's a balance. There's a lot of inner change happening with you and a sort of an internal transformation. It's almost as if you are making a quantum leap into becoming a different person, and you'll have a lot of creative power. Now, this whole card is characterized by symbols of integration,
integrating aspects of yourself, unifying opposites, the binding together of fire, for example, with water, with light and dark, male and female, death and rebirth. It's an internal process. And the melting of contradictions is a major step towards regaining oneness. Now, I'm taken by this large sun figure that's up there and that moon that's there. Well, they really are crossing each other, and they give birth to the stars which are in the background. Now, the dress of the person is that of creativity, green, and there is a Latin inscription that's just on the inside of this card. I learned Latin while it was beaten into me from the age of 10 until 18. Vista interiorum. That means to go within the deep of the earth, and by cleansing it, by washing it, you will find the hidden stone. I suppose that this probably has meanings on very different levels. But the most useful meaning, I think, is seen in the context of the green dress, that creativity. And it suggests the need to bring creative forces into contact with the earth energy, to make things tangible. Now, I think what we can also see here is that this is a challenge for you to look inward. There's a combination of forces going on, a realization of who you really are. A lot of Sagittarius energy around here. And I think you'll be taking actions now which are based on a really good, accurate assessment of what the environment is and who the players are. And I think that you are going to have success after what might have been maybe a long, problematic process, and it's going to turn out well. I also get the feeling here of you getting an escape, almost as if you are getting away with something or getting out of something. Well, you are learning to bring balance back into your life and moderation into your life. Also, there is the message here to just be patient and let things evolve at their natural pace. This is a time for you to re-examine your life priorities, to accept the dark parts within you. This is very much about integration, and when you accept the challenge to look inward, it will pay results for you. Because in this phase of integrating opposites, the transformation process that you're going to go through, it's just not going to tolerate any interference from the outside. And to find that hidden stone, that jewel within you, you must look within. So, what does it mean now for you to find your hidden jewel? Close your eyes and visualize a fountain of energy in your body, and bathe a while in this rejuvenating current, and say this to yourself: I equally value the light and the dark within my own nature. I am a well-integrated person. And I surrender to the transforming powers of the divine, because I am an open channel for creative energy. Now here we have this next card that I want to look at. It's also got a lot of Jupiter all over it, the Lord of harmonious change. Good change. Something that's not going to stress you out, something that you're going to be happy with is what I see here. And it's Jupiter ruling the first decan of Capricorn, the 23rd of December to, what would it be, the 2nd of January, I guess? Well, see, this is also saying for you to go with the flow. There's movement here, there's changes, there's a few ups and downs, but you're growing through change. You might be taking on a lot of things, multitasking, and you could have quite a heavy workload, but you'll be enjoying your work. Now there's a huge snake, which is the symbol for infinity. And that represents it represents perpetual change, and the snake encloses two discs with those Chinese yin-yang symbols, which they're symbols of balance and harmony, but they're turning in opposite directions, representing internal and external change. There is a change going on within you, and it touches all the realms of your being. Now, Jupiter, the planet symbolizing luck and expansion, indicates that this change is going to bring luck and expansion, and it's going to enrich your life. The new will bring more stability and security with it. Now, change is always necessary when the old falls out of balance, isn't it? Change wakes you up, it shakes you up. You see that crown on the snake's head? That actually is a symbol of wakefulness. So you are becoming awake to what's going on. There's violet color that's here. That's the color of the warrior. And it shows that new energies here will be drawn from this transformation that you are going through. Because you need to change. The only permanent thing is impermanence. The only certain thing is uncertainty. Now, I don't think that there's anything financially or materially set in concrete at the moment, so you are able to move forward. And this energy here is also a reminder to take care of your day-to-day affairs. I mean, I know this is about good management also, this energy. The management of your personal practical affairs or your business affairs and finances. I know it might sound like something of a bummer, but getting on top of bills and chores is probably just as important as pursuing the more enjoyable activities in life. But definitely this is saying that your life is subject to a constant change which you are now going through, and it allows you to grow, extending and expanding you, and ultimately enriching you. So give yourself up to this change with trust. And what internal and external changes are going on in your life? And to where are you still clinging? Say this to yourself at this time, because it's particularly true for you. I trust in the harmony of my life and in the flow of my life. In every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And as you move forward, this process of taking advantage of the rest and recuperation, the internal looking and reintegration, and more importantly, loving yourself and being confident in yourself, and the self-esteem and confidence which comes from this, and from this, it's not surprising that you drew this first, because this is showing that you are going to blaze ahead. Now, this is the Lord of Dominion. Now, it's Mars in the first decan of Aries, the 21st of March to the 30th of March. Well, Mars is in its own sign here in Aries. Well, it's really, really good. And the 2, of course, speaks to me of balance. Now, Aries is about dominion, and Mars is the planet of vitality, energy, and assertion. And as you may know, Mars is exalted in your sign, and so it's bringing great benefit to you. Now, Aries can be said to be interested in exploration, pioneering. And the 2 is about balance, as I say. So I think what you might see here from this energy is the desire to move in new directions if you want, because that's the Aries aspect of it, from a place of balance and harmony, which is the numerology of the 2, and with the confidence and the aggression of Mars. There's something of a warlike energy here around you. You are mastering the situation. Now, you may be interested in dominating a situation, maybe even dominating another person. Certainly, I don't think that you are going to be satisfied with your lot, and you will now be really focusing your intent. Well, you see, Mars, which is the bearer of dynamic, active powers, is in its own sign, the pioneer that constantly seeks new ways and methods of getting ahead. And this drive forward for you is going to find new directions. Now, the two big ones in the center there, they are crossed. They're called Dorjes, and they are a Tibetan symbol for the clap of thunder. And these masks, which are sitting on the end of them, with horses' heads at the end of the wands, they are symbols of pure destructive energy, so you can make things happen in a warlike way. The arrowheads are ornamented with snakes, and this indicates the renewal which accompanies destruction. So you will be going through and re-engineering the way that you do things. Now, the card is called Dominion, and it is resting here on harmony and centeredness, I think, in this spread for you. But maybe a better expression might be than dominion, might be command, in the sense of you having command of yourself as well. Now, this demands that your energies are collected together and concentrated to provide the courage necessary to embark on new paths. And whatever changes may occur along the way, you are not going to be thrown off balance. I've just noticed something here which actually strikes me, but of course you can interpret it in a different way. I'm looking at all this colour of fire, which is meeting the colour of water. Well, the meeting of fire and water is an alchemical symbol of the unification of differing aspects of your being. Well, we saw that with this card here too, this art card, didn't we? And you know that out of this union is going to come the new when you accept the differences and apparent conflicts which are out there. Detach yourself from them, analyze them, and apply your will. Solutions are possible, and they will change and increase your perspective and launch you forward to success and abundance. So pay attention to centering. If you're in contact with your center, as you were here, then you are certain to master any situation. So trust your energy and don't go for any false compromises. Now ask yourself this: which tasks and situations are a challenge for you? Say this to yourself though: I find the strength I now need in my center. Because you'll be using your willpower to break through stagnant situations and remove long-standing blocks. This is really a time for you to take action and act on instinct and what you believe to be right, probably without overthinking the situation. I must say also that this is really speaking of a dynamic leadership ability and energy of leadership, and it's building up within you. So go forward, be strong. You, in a sense, will be overcome with boldness, courage, a fierceness almost, and dare I say it, a sort of a shamelessness. You will be quite generous and proud. And you may even have with you a certain amount of revenge. I don't make any observation about that. But definitely here, this energy in the context of these other cards and their energies is suggesting to me that your will is beginning to rebel against its existing boundaries, come hell or high water, and you are moving forward to success. And then I think we come finally, do we, to... here she is, this Queen of Cups. What do you have to say to my friend here? Isn't this an interesting picture? It's really one that the mind by itself can't grasp, I think. Queen of Cups, I call it the Queen of the Thrones of Waters. I see a lot of Cancer and a lot of Gemini around here. You'll be very intuitive, an observer. There's moments where this could also be somebody else. It doesn't have to be a woman, incidentally. It could be a man. I think you'll be able to see yourself in others and also see through others and reflect that back to them. Emotions will be shown openly here, and I get a sense of parenthood. Now, the Queen's form, if I look at the... Where's her head? I think it's in... There it is there. I think it's a little face that's in there. Well, that's all enclosed in these light beams. So you only see her if you look closely. And as I say, her being can't be understood intellectually. You've got to feel it and sense it. In a sense, she's shrouded in mystery. And if you want to understand this mystery, you have to go deeply into the realm of sensitivity and feeling. Now, this calm sea on which she is resting, that mirrors her image almost perfectly. What radiates outwardly is reflected in, or is a reflection of, the deepest emotional reaches of her being. She's in contact with her feelings and shows them openly and authentically. Now, the people around her might not always understand her, but that's not a problem for her, because she's not going to compromise emotionally. Because if she were to compromise emotionally, she would have to deny herself and might lose the glow of her beauty in doing so. Now, you are going to be very intuitive and emotionally aware. Now, these white lotus blossoms that you see there that are in the lake and in her hand, I think they symbolize the love of giving nature. But what's interesting is that the lotus roots, you see them all down here with these wavy lines, they come out of the dark, muddy depths of water. But the leaves themselves and the petals of the lotus, well, they remain untouched by the mud and water. Water rolls off the petals or it rests on them as beads of water. So they remain connected with the water and the mud growing from them, but they are different and separate. Now, blossoming love, too, grows from unconscious realms of instinct and drive and is fed by that unconscious. The light of consciousness causes unconscious energies to arise in a new form. The old appears in a new light. It becomes changed, and an emotional rebirth has taken place. Now, there's this big bird in the center there. What would that be? It's probably a stork. Well, the stork is the messenger of the returning spring in the northern hemisphere, and it symbolizes the appearance of the new. I think there's also a connection here with parenthood. By showing your feelings openly, of course, you become beautiful. There may be people who don't understand you, but don't concern yourself about it. There are enough others with whom you can share your feelings. So are you open to your emotions and feelings? Trust your feelings. Live in harmony with them. There's the opportunity here for you to be open and beautiful. Now, this Queen is also saying to me that it's possible that you could have some sort of a psychic awareness, and you may well have been hurt badly in the past by someone, I think, in a way which almost destroyed you. but you have survived, and you go on. Say this to yourself, because it is true for you now. My openness and my vitality, it makes me beautiful, and you are beautiful.
I think you'll agree with me that this deck, when looked at properly the way that we have just done now, has an enormous amount to offer, and the artwork is just genius and brilliant, and that accounts for why it has lasted as long as it has. Anyway, unless I see you privately for a clairvoyant reading or a healing, then I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.